What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. Thank you for the comment on my most recent video. Somebody was asking, it's 20 Kevron asked about Candace Owens and Trump. 20 Kevron says, can you do a review of Candace Owens calling out Trump? Long-time friend of show. Thanks for the comment. Yeah, I do want to talk about it. This is more of the tea variety. But it's not just straight up when I say tea, that is the slang for drama. I think it comes from, back in England, you'd be sipping tea with your pinky up and you would be gossiping. So this is the gossip, but I think it does have some relevancy. It's like, look at the signal, not the noise. This might be more noise than signal, but we can have a little bit of fun. It's worth talking about. Candace Owens is a big name celebrity, big name personality. What did she do? What did she do here? Daily Wire tweeted, real Candace Owens reveals how her perspective of Trump has shifted since the end of his presidency. What I am saying is Trump needs to take a good look in the mirror, and he needs to exercise a tiny bit more humility when he gets something wrong. That's like saying the sky is blue, but let's react.
Trump actually got upset with me because, and here's the great irony, the richest irony, the Daily Beast ran a headline regarding that live Instagram that you just heard from me. And the headline was, Candace Owens says Trump is pro-vax because he's too old to understand the internet. I never once called Trump too old. I never once said that Trump could not understand the internet.
And this is true. I'm just going to pick it up with here. Trust me. But go look at it. Don't, do your own research. But she is right. This was the big interview that happened December of last year. I think it was December of last year where she sat down with Trump. It was a great interview. She did a great job. She did a great job of trying to test him a little bit without being disrespectful, letting Don Dada be himself. After the interview, there was fallout. I think I did a video on it. I was talking about Trump like, bro, where you got this disconnect. You keep talking about the pandemic and how you handled things, and we do not feel that. And people are still rocking with you. Stop talking about it. And that's right around the time where I fell out with other people, where we kind of went back and forth on Trump and the pandemic. I didn't think he handled it well. Candace Owens got the same feedback. She was actually trying to defend Trump, and then it looks like Trump still didn't appreciate it. No surprise, but let's listen.
And yet somehow he got that information and believed it to be true. He thought that I said that he was too old and that he couldn't understand the internet and did not quite get the information that actually what I was saying was a defense of him so that his supporters would still believe in him. Not only was he just mad, by the way.
That is true, and I believe everything that she says in this whole clip. I believe it is true. Who knows? But it is very credible. Candace Owens is not a liar when it comes to this drama and this tea. Well, she did have that Kanye West thing, that yay thing. But I believe her here. The yay thing was the graphic for the Blexit. The Blexit graphic came out whack. It came out kind of looking lame. I know it. I've tried to make a lot of graphics that come out lame. I know it. But she said that Kanye designed it. Ye was like, I ain't designed that mess, basically. But I believe her here.
He then, during a golf session with some mutual friends of ours, had a person next to him who was egging this on, saying to Trump, and I know this because, again, this is a mutual friend, aren't you mad at Candace? Aren't you mad at Candace? Aren't you mad at Candace? And eventually he was like, yeah, I'm so mad at Candace. I'm so mad at Candace. And this got back to me that he was upset with me, that he was angry at me. And the next time that I saw him, he was quite rude to me.
Okay, so if this is politics, and none of this so far ties into anything relevant to common people. So if you're really concerned about common people and all that, you don't care about this, then I just exit, because it is. I fully understand that this is noise, not the signal. But we're going to get to some signal, and it's a big takeaway. But at this point, it's politics. Do you know how many people want to be in Candace Owens' position? That she's riding the coattails? I'm not saying that as a negative. I got MAGA. I'm making it my own. I'm kind of trying to take MAGA from them a little bit to make it my own, but I'm still riding the coattails. But obviously to a lesser degree, but people want to be in her position. People are jealous of her. She's very boisterous, very outspoken. She's got a lot of enemies. So when people know that Trump, this happened to Trump in his presidency. People know that Trump has these insecurities. He's a bull in the china shop. If you tell Trump, look, that person wronged you, he's going to run like a bull to try and, get him with his horns. So that's why they I don't know, but that could be what happened is this person that Candace Owens knows, maybe they want to move in on Candace Owens' territory. They want to take over Blexit. They want to do their own Blexit. I did a video back on the channel where we talked about all these. There are identitarians, and Candace Owens, I think, would fall under that too in a certain way. Not that she uses race as a weapon, but she does talk about black community, black this and that. If there's people who want to use that lane to rise into power in the Republican infrastructure. So if say for example, I had evil intent in my mind and I know Trump, or I know Trump. I could have a friend, maybe a mutual friend of Candace Owens, talk to Trump and misconstrue what she said, knowing Trump will be upset and kind of push her aside. So then now I can come in like, Trump, I'm the new guy. That's the type of politics that gets played. This is high stakes stuff, a lot of money involved.
He was actually rude to me. I'm telling you this personal story because I think it is something that made me for the first time question him as a person. So you have an individual.
I'll be honest. I'm doing the react, but it's irrelevant to me. It's just, it's like eating McDonald's. Like it's not healthy. It's not meaningful. I'd rather get like home cooked meal or something like that. I'll make my own burger. But sometimes this is like Housewives type stuff. So Candace is like, he was actually mad at me. So what? What, he can't be mad at you? Even if he's wrong, who cares? It's Trump. You expected to have a relationship with Trump. You expected to have a relationship with Trump that would never go sideways? Said no one ever. So what? He was mad at you.
Well, that spent years defending you, right? And that individual gave you a completely kind and fair interview. You said something yourself that your base didn't like, and you somehow transformed that into something that I did wrong. That's unacceptable. That is not being a leader. That is not owning things that you did wrong.
And it's also not new. So when I'm watching this is the second time I'm watching this through. Now I'm looking at what is Candace's intent. Because we know this is normal stuff. So why would you bring it? We already know this about Trump. There's nothing new. There's nothing surprising. This is after the midterms. So now we're going to tie it into Candace is like, what I think is happening, Candace is like, I can play politics too.
That is not owning that you misunderstood something about your base. That's not growing. That's not developing. In fact, he should have tried to understand why the base was so upset with him, which would have led to the fact that his base is not pro-COVID vaccine. It's that simple. I understood that. I could have told him that. But at that moment, I realized that he's not listening.
Asking Trump to listen is like trying to go up to a pit bull that's been trained to be a fighter, like a dog fighter, and say, no, don't fight that dog. I mean, that's what he is. That's what he trained. That's what he's learned. That's what he knows. Candace knows this better than anyone. So this is it. We're going to have to find out as this proceeds what's happening. I'll tell you in a second what I think is going on.
Was this guy next to him trying to egg him on to be angry at me for trying to defend him, say that he's not a shill, to say, no, actually, I think that he genuinely does support the vaccines. He did genuinely support the vaccines. So all of this going on made me, again, question him if he was becoming too angry, which is to say that when Trump went into the election in 2016, he was having fun, right? He was
So I believe her story about it. Now, I do not believe, unfortunately, I think very highly of Candace Owens. I do not believe that she is operating in good intent at this moment.
Naming people, giving them fun names, enjoying the base, having a good time. I would even say in 2020, you could feel the energy. It was electric. I think
2020 was not electric. 2016 was electric. 2020 was not. The magic, I'm not saying it was bad or it was the pandemic one. It was the BLM. They stopped the magic in 2020. I don't know why she's even saying that.
After the 2020 election, and because of the shock of all the things that happened and the answers that we never really feel that we got, this like sinking realization that we might be actually losing our country, I think that it pushed him into an angry space where he doesn't trust anybody, where he doesn't listen to anybody, where he's almost likely to believe that everybody's trying to turn their back on him and stab him in the back. And again, I don't believe that that's leadership, but I never spoke on that because I thought to myself, I think that that's a lot of ego that Trump is having right now, but maybe I'm being egotistical. Maybe me even speaking out about this is me being offended and butthurt that he was so rude to me. He was so rude to me on the basis of what he said. But after time, I've realized that no, these discussions that everybody is having, these conservative influencers are having behind Trump's back should be also had with the public as well. You have a right to know that.
Look at this Candace Owens. She's going to run for president, yo. That's what this is about. The cat's out the bag. This is my opinion. Allegedly, I'm speculating. I have no proof. She's going to run for president. Now, I don't know if it's going to be this election. I think she's setting it up for actually down the road. Who knows? It might be for this one. I don't know. But I think she is going to run for president. She's still pregnant, right? So I don't know. I mean, that won't. I don't think that'll play a role. But she's going to eventually. I think Tucker, Candace Owens. Those are two people I'm looking at who I am pretty sure of. I would bet a lot of money. I would bet money that they are going to run for president, and what she's doing is hedging her bets. She doesn't know. She sees the midterm happen. She doesn't know, and I believe this was because she mentions the midterm here. So I think this is like right after the midterm, the day after. So she's looking at, yesterday, she's looking at the tea leaves. She's reading the tea leaves, and she's seeing the civil war that's happening between Trump and DeSantis. She sees this civil war happening, this political civil war, and she's looking at it, and she's saying, I don't know who's going to win. I know who's going to win, or I'm hedging my bets myself on. I think Don Dada would win, but I don't think she knows who's going to win. And her employer, in my opinion, you look at every host, all the talking hosts on her show, on Daily Wire, they're all DeSantis dudes. Name one. I could be off. I could be wrong. You go down their roster, every single one of them are DeSantis dudes. They're corporate. They're not populist. Candace Owens, I like her a lot. She is not a populist. She is a corporatist. Corporatists will come in, see the populist movement. There's a lot of stuff they agree with, and they'll ride that. They'll ride that wave. See that? That's the look of someone who's running for president, and I'm all for it. I want to hear. Hey, if you want to run for president, run for president. Put your name in the hat. Put yourself in the ring, and let's see. She is a good debater. She is very knowledgeable. She sits down with anybody. She sat down with Hawk Newsom. She sat down with Mark Lamont Hill in 2018. She sits down with the left, the right. She's been on Tim Pool. She is highly intelligent. You don't want those problems with her in a debate. And think about this as a debate. Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Jimmy Dore, Dave Smith, Ron DeSantis. This is post-Trump. You should charge $1,000 to view it. I mean, I don't want to hide that information, but my point is everybody would want to be there like a UFC fight. So I'm all there for it, but that's what she's doing. She's angling herself. She's separating herself a little bit from Trump to hedge her bets. She doesn't have her finger on the pulse here like I think Milo does, Yiannopoulos, and maybe we on the channel think we do. And she's hedging her bets. Her employer is a DeSantis employer, so now she's like, okay, I can't be too tied into Trump for my long term. We're looking at 4 years down the road. Should I be as tied in? I don't want to have beef with Don Dada. Should I be as tied into Trump as I have been? Because if DeSantis rises to power, then where do I go? I'm ostracized. That's a corporatist. She's not riding with a populist. Doesn't care. Doesn't give a damn about that. I'm gonna ride with the people, basically. So that's why I said it's tea. There's noise, but then you see there's some signal here.
You have a right to take that information and judge it as you will, and to question whether or not there has been a change in Trump. How could there not be? How could you suffer a defeat and know in your heart that a lot of things that happened regarding that defeat were wrong, even if you don't believe that what happened in Maricopa County during the election was fishy. I do personally believe that. You at least believe that the Hunter Biden laptop suppression led to different results in the election. Of course it did. Many people said that if they had known that that laptop was real, they would have voted differently. So he has every right to be angry. But if you stay at a place of anger, right, you are ignoring everything that is going on around you. You're no longer looking and assessing things in the way that you should be assessing them because you're holding on to this almost vengeful spirit, right? That is the question that I've had with Trump. Is he going to get over the trauma of the election of 2020 and begin to paint a vision for 2024? What is his vision for 2024? Is it I'm back? Because that's not a vision to me. It needs to be more than I'm back, right? And I think that what's happening behind...
He hasn't even announced yet. He hasn't even announced. We think it's coming up next Tuesday, I believe, the 15th. But he hasn't even announced yet. So, I mean, it's fair to speculate and ask, but it's a very grandiose statement where he hasn't even announced anything yet.
And closed doors, people believing that they're not sure who he's listening to. Maybe there's a paranoia potentially that's setting in, that he believes that his friends, now me, oh my God, how could you say I was too old? I read the headline on the Daily Beast. That's what she said. I didn't say that, right? If you thought I said that, you should have been a decent human being. You should have picked up the phone and you should have called me, right? Because that's what I would have done.
I like how she's doing a good job of making it. This is another reason why I think she's running for president. She's putting herself on a peer-to-peer level with Trump. You know, my friend, how do I know Trump said that? Because my circle was with Trump when he was golfing. I said this about Trump, you should have called me. She's like, I'm on the same level as you, bro. That's what she's trying to say. And then, then she'll say, I'm the same level. I think I'm right for president. That's the next step.
I would have reached out to you to clarify things. That's what it means to be a person. That's what it means to be a friend. That's what it means to be a colleague, not even a friend. What it means to be a colleague is to actually have relationships with people, to honor their relationships.
She's a colleague with Donald Trump now. Okay. I'm not saying she is or not, but it's interesting how she's focusing on that so much. Like, I'm on Trump's level. When somebody does that, this is a corporate thing. I've been in the corporate world working my whole life. I'm 44, almost 45 now. My whole life I've been in the corporate world. I've seen every single type of corporate person probably you could probably see. Well, not my whole life. I mean, my working life, so 20 plus years. This is a corporate person who wants to climb the ladder. So what happens is they put themselves on the same level of someone. Because before this video, would you have put Candace Owens? If I said, hey, is Candace Owens on the same personal, social level, political level as Donald Trump? Probably you would say no. But she's doing a good job of, like, that's what you would do with a colleague. She's talking about Donald Trump like a colleague, like he's in the cubicle or the office down the way, like right around the corner from her. Like, we both got offices in this corporate building, and your office is just next to mine. Nah, that's Dun Dada, former president. You're not on that level. You're not. And what they do is, it's a very common tactic. They put themselves on the same. Candace is below Trump. I'm gonna keep this going in a second, but I just want to illustrate. Candace is here below Trump. Trump is here, politically, socially. Even famous, as far as entertainment, people know Trump more than Candace Owens, obviously. Candace Owens, and then when you try to climb the corporate ladder, you've got to make yourself, I'm a peer with you. Even though you might not think I am, I treat myself as, and I am a peer with you. Then the next step is, I'm stepping over you. That's what we're seeing here with Candace Owens. She's a corporate person. This is how corporate people act. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just kind of talking about it and maybe getting a good laugh, entertainment from it, and maybe a little bit of signal from it also.
Relationships that you have with people that don't take place in the public sphere. We didn't do any of those things. And I think that the MAGA movement is reflecting Trump. I think there is a trepidation that I'm sensing in Trump. And I think that trepidation is evidenced by him taking a random swing at DeSantis last week. I don't think it was helpful, even though DeSantis won Florida handily. He's not running against DeSantis right now, right? DeSantis is running for governor. I know Trump voted for him and all of that's great. Why take a random swing?
So this is disingenuous because there are reasons for it. If I know that, trust me, Candace Owens does. Trust me, Matt Walsh does, Michael Knowles does, all of them over there do. This is dishonest to me. If you're going to talk about why I criticize them too because of the timing, not necessarily because you can take a shot. It was before the midterms. I didn't like that. But now we're done with the midterms. So I'm done with that take. The take's over. The midterms are done. So who cares about the shot? Now it's about what's going on with the shots. This is disingenuous. There's nothing that I know about this that she doesn't know. That she doesn't know in a even more detail than I do. So why would you talk about Trump taking shots at DeSantis without talking about why he would have taken shots at DeSantis? You know why? Because the same path that DeSantis is taking is going to be a similar one that Candace. When you run for president, you've got to raise money. So she's going to do it through her husband, Farmer, who's the CEO of Parler, Ye, and everybody else. So she's going to be trying to take a different route than the Trump route potentially to raise money for politics. That's what we see here. In my opinion, that's what we're seeing here.
Right? I think the base is feeling that trepidation. They're not sure who to listen to on endorsements. Do you listen to DeSantis? Do you listen to Trump? Or do we listen to these influencers?
That's not how the movement works. They listen to us, Candace. Who are you talking to? And maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to let you know where I stand on it, and the people that I chat with, and especially on this channel, the people I know, like the people on the channel that we chat a lot, here and there from the lives and other stuff. No, Candace. We tell Trump who to endorse. Now, he doesn't always listen. That's Daddy Don. That's Granddaddy Don. He's almost 80. He's 76, I believe. That's Granddaddy Don. That's what he does. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. But for the most part, he lives up this mantra of working for the people. The pandemic, I know that was off, and then some of these endorsements are off. But for the most part, the people lead that movement. So the people aren't confused. I'm not hearing confusion. I haven't heard one person say, I don't know whose endorsement I should listen to. I didn't hear nobody talk about DeSantis's endorsements. Not a nobody until recently, until this pot shot stuff. Now they talk about Trump's endorsements because he has more sway.
Are these influencers listening to DeSantis? Are these influencers listening to Trump? They're wondering about what the leadership looks like. And I think that I am not at all under any impression that Trump can't win in 2024. No. What I am saying is that Trump needs to take a good look in the mirror, and he needs to take a good look in the room, and he needs to read the room accurately. He needs to take a look at those that are around him that are inspiring this paranoia and making him believe that everyone's out to get him, including his friends. And he needs to exercise a tiny bit more humility when he gets something wrong. Trump is not perfect. I'm not perfect. I get things wrong. I edit. I say, thank you guys for bringing me this new information.
I laugh, not because she's wrong. It's just funny. Can you imagine trying to tell Trump to be more humble? He's 76 years old. That's not happening at this point. We're still talking about Trump shifting and transforming.
I hadn't realized that. And there's still a period where he could transform. But I think the results of last night's election, which are still coming in, show that we aren't sure, that he's not sure, and therefore we aren't sure. And that's all I have to say about that. Trump act.
So what she's trying to do is she's trying to inject uncertainty into the Trump supporters. That's what she's trying to do. I mean, Trump supporters are not unsure. I know there's people who are DeSantis and there's people who are Trump. But when you talk about Trump supporters are not unsure. The people, I mean, at least the ones that I've chatted with mostly are the ones that were never really fully with Trump. And they're going to more DeSantis. So she's trying to inject the uncertainty. I'm going to end with this. We're going to see a lot of angling and positioning from all the big players, from these influencers and everybody else, angling on where they want to be in a post-Trump era. And I think Candace Owens, I don't think she's sure that Trump will win. I think she knows Trump will win the primary. I don't know if she thinks Trump will win in 2024. And I think she's ready for, if Trump doesn't win, He's done. He's over. Whether he wins or not, he'll be 80 years old. He's done. He's over. It's maybe even too early to say that, but I really think he'll be done. Then it'll be up for grabs. Tucker Carlson could absolutely beat Ron DeSantis. Now, the money would be the problem. Ron DeSantis raised $200 million. So that's hard to beat, just running for governor. To compare, I believe Kathy Hochul raised about 40 to 50 mil, I believe. This Ron DeSantis is in a different league than we've ever seen before because of who he's connected with. That's not grassroots dollars. That's corporate dollars. So let's take the dollars out. Tucker Carlson could absolutely beat Ron DeSantis. Oh, Tucker's the best speaker out of all of them. So let me know what you think. This is very interesting stuff. Maybe I might drink some tea and see how this plays out. Visit middlemaga.com, and the link will be in the description. I definitely want to hear, not just from you, 20 Kevron, thanks for the topic. Everybody else, let me know what you think about Candace Owens. Did she really throw Trump under the bus, or does she have legit points? Are you a Trump supporter who's now wavering? Maybe I'm underestimating that. I got to make sure my finger's on the pulse of where everybody's at. Take care.